quarterback, you know most about quarterbacks. Geno Smith had a very interesting career. We keep it real up here on the facility. Just because a guy got paid don't mean we just going to naturally wax poetically about who the guy is.
Never
We're going to keep it honest,
Never.
keep it real more than I would suggest most other shows. That's what you get with us here in the facility. Geno Smith, how far can he take the Raiders?
I don't think he can make the playoffs. I think they can make some noise. I think they're going to make more noise, the Raiders are, than they have in the past. If they go out, they draft a receiver, they got Brock Bowers, maybe they draft a running back, James Jones, in which they need. I think Geno can play at a really high level. And you look at this contract, you're paying below average quarterback money for one of the most accurate throwers in all of football. 70% completion rate last year. The dude threw for 4,300 yards, 21 touchdowns. Now, he did throw 15 interceptions. There was a little bit of issue with that offensive line. But I love this move by Tom Brady, Spytek, the GM, and Pete Carroll. Reunites them. Pete wanted his guy in there. Not only is he a good player on the field, but he's a good teammate off the field. And that is the biggest thing for me is when you watch Geno Smith play. He's a guy, he's not going to win you a bunch of games, but he sure is not going to lose you a bunch of games either. And quite honestly, I rank him like 15, 16, 17th best quarterback, and he's paid like that. This is a really good bargain deal. And quite honestly, it tells you a lot about what Brady and co. really think about the quarterbacks in the draft. When you're able to add 2 years onto an existing year, you have Geno locked up for 3 more years. There's no rush. There's no panic. I think this is the perfect guy. He gives you the most consistent quarterback play since Derek Carr's been there at the Raiders.
My man John Spytek over there doing his thing.
Balling,
That's my
dude.
dog.
I love this sign.
Now, he's good. I played with him, knowing. Hung out with him, ate dinner with him. Good guy.
All that good stuff.
Yeah, so I like that.
I think Geno can take the Raiders to the playoffs. I do. And I
This
think,
year?
Yeah,
Wait,
I
not
think
next year?
I think the Raiders have a shot this year with Geno Smith to go to the playoffs. Obviously, they have to hit on some of their draft picks, but
All of them.
I love what.
Whoa, we got time out.
Time out.
We got time. We got
In the
time.
AFC West?
We got time. Because 3 teams didn't make it in the AFC West last year.
I didn't hear him.
Broncos.
Hey, wait, he got quiet. I got to hear James. I think he said something about playoffs the Raiders. Hold on.
Hey, first
My bad.
off,
What you say,
first off,
James?
the ball is hyped, bro. We playing.
It's
All
20
that
yards down the
time,
field
bro. We
already.
running, man. Go balls, man.
What you just say?
Yes, I said playoffs
Who?
this year.
Wait, what team?
Raiders. That team. Listen, man, okay? Pete Carroll went and got this dude for a reason. He did. Whatever we want to think about Geno Smith, Pete Carroll went to the playoffs with Geno Smith. Pete Carroll knows what Geno Smith needs to be successful. Pete Carroll knows how to build a really good roster. Geno Smith is a very, very accurate quarterback. Geno Smith is a quarterback that can take you to the playoffs. Why? Because he has, and he's did that with Pete Carroll. Do the Raiders need some more pieces to finalize this roster? Absolutely. But when you talk about Jacoby Myers, when you talk about Brock Bowers, when you talk about even having
Nobody talks about Jacoby Myers.
when you talk about Jacoby Myers, when you talk about Brock Bowers, when you talk about adding a guy like Ashton Genty in the backfield, I think the Raiders can make the playoffs with Geno Smith and him and Pete Carroll.
Now you the GM.
I wish I could be.
How you add players to your say it's not there?
I'm saying, he gonna be there.
Yo,
But he gonna
you know,
be
that's
there.
why you go to TV. I've never seen him before. He added a player
That's right.
on the team that's not even
That's
there.
right.
Matter of fact, the player's not even in the league.
No doubt.
Yo, you
And
a
he
bad
go-
mother,
and he-
dog.
and he go to the Raiders. That's how you do a take, Shady.
Yeah,
That's how you do a take.
that was
That's how
crazy.
you
Did
do
you
a
see that?
take. You know what I'm saying? Put him on the roster,
believes it.
man.
Man, I
know what we need.
Geno Smith is good. He's a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. He's not a bad quarterback. He's a good quarterback. Though what's fascinating up here is we keep saying he's a very accurate quarterback because that's what he is. Now, I can't come up here and confidently say he's great. I can confidently say he's accurate. You know what I mean? That's exactly what he is. The Raiders need a lot. The Raiders are missing a lot. The Raiders need a lot of guys. They need a lot of guys. Brock Bowers is a good player. He's a really good player. I think he's an all-pro player last year as a rookie.
Player.
You know what I mean? Like, he's done it for 1 year, so it's hard for me to...
player. He's
check-
all pro.
He's done it for 1 year. I can't say he's a great player just yet. I just need to see more. But Brock Bowers, he's a really, really good player.
He don't want to get.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. This has been a tough day, y'all. I'm going to keep it real here. You know what we do on this channel. I think we keep it realer than anyone else out there. I got to remind you that every single time. Okay. Dude. The biggest way you get yourself in trouble in the NFL, especially at the quarterback position, is when you don't pay a quarterback what they're actually worth. think about how the opposite of that and the extreme version of that is when you have a great quarterback on a rookie deal, and so you're not paying him a lot of money, right? It's the best situation in all of football, right? The sheer fact that the Commanders paid Jaden Daniels essentially nothing last season, right? That's how you benefit. And the opposite of that is when you pay a quarterback who you pay him significantly more. It doesn't even have to be top dollar. It doesn't have to be the 60, 65, but, you know, whatever it is, like even the Daniel Jones type contract, right? Like if you pay a quarterback more money than they're actually deserving of based off of their level of play. Imagine if you paid Daniel Jones only like $10 million, $15 million. Well, then you easily keep Saquon Barkley. That changes that offense completely now, right? Like you don't have to pick and choose. So paying your quarterback the accurate amount of money for their style of play, you know, for their level of play that's the name of the game. Once you start to get above that, that's when you run yourselves into trouble. That's how you end up like a team like, you know, the highest example of that is essentially like the Dak Prescott and Dallas Cowboys. You pay him too much money. He's not good enough. He's paid more than Patrick Mahomes. And yet he's not as good as Patrick Mahomes, and yet you're expecting him to win like Patrick Mahomes. It doesn't work that way. So the Raiders paid Geno Smith exactly what he's worth and what he's capable of doing and what they expect him to be able to do. The incentives and the assessment and the reality is aligned. When all of those things happen, you get so much more of a cohesive team, a cohesive game plan, an understanding. No one's going to expect Geno Smith to play like a top 3 quarterback, a top 5 quarterback. The Raiders aren't, so they're not going to build a team and make decisions based off of that. Otherwise, they would have paid him significantly more money, and they didn't. So everyone understands what everyone's worth here. Again, you run yourself into trouble when you think Dak Prescott and you pay him like he's literally a top 2, top 3, number 1 quarterback in the NFL. Because then you build a team in that with that idea. You call games with that idea. You put those expectations and that weight on Dak Prescott, and it collapses. So I just think this continues to be incredibly smart by the Las Vegas Raiders because they understand who they have. Again, I would have been concerned if they paid Geno some $50-55 million, for you, because then you would be like, oh man, I don't think they really understand what they have here, what they're trying to accomplish. Listen, I think Geno Smith is probably, I keep using Dak as an example, like probably right within that range, either on his level or ever so slightly below. But if you're going to pay him essentially like half the amount, less than half the amount of money, that's a home run. Dak Prescott would be a home run if you paid him $45 million a year. 40 million, 35, whatever the deal is, especially a few years ago, back when he was a little bit younger. Then you have CD Lamb and Amari Cooper, right? Then, maybe Jerry Jones isn't so cheap and goes out and gets Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry. It transforms everything. You would have paid Micah a year or, earlier because you would already have the money to be able to wheel and deal. You'd be able to build. It just changes everything. Everything. And so we can use Geno Smith's career. 1, he was a late bloomer, happens. And 2, he's never been on a good enough team with great enough coaching and have it all kind of just come together. And I believe that can happen with the Raiders. You guys all know that I'm a firm believer in great coaching. And I think there's a great likelihood, and we're about to find out, obviously, but a great likelihood that Chip Kelly, it's funny that they still don't mention Chip Kelly, and I don't understand why. But Chip Kelly and this offense, I am so excited to see what Chip Kelly does in the NFL now, what he does in the NFL now as a coordinator with a true seasoned veteran like Geno Smith. Like, I'm really excited. Yeah, we can debate if they have the personnel. But again, the draft, maybe Genty, maybe someone else. We're now going to downplay Bowers. I mean, are we serious now? Having like Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew, 112 receptions, 1,194 yards. I mean, like, what are we saying here? I've only seen it for 1 year. Okay. 17 games, 112 receptions, 153 targets, 1,194 yards, 10.7 yards average. I mean, like, what are we saying here? On a team that was, quite frankly, a disaster. We're going to try to, downplay his season? Imagine what he would do with Chip Kelly and Geno. I guess that's just what keeping it real is. I keep it real. I keep it real. I do think that the Raiders can contend for the playoffs. Again, if you're expecting Geno Smith to just put this team on his back, be Superman, and just carry this team to 12 straight wins, yeah, you're gonna be let down. You're gonna be a little confused. But the Raiders don't even expect that. The coaching staff doesn't expect that. The GM, ownership, Spytek, Brady, etc., they don't expect that. They paid him like who he is, which then gives them the clear direction on how to build a team around him with the appropriate coaching staff. Combine that with him being a great person, a great leader on and off the field. You can't ask for a much better situation in this moment of time as the Raiders are looking to truly hit the reset button. I mean, this is like old school Nintendo. All right, they took the cartridge out, they blew into it, they blew into the console, they stuck it in, pushed it down, hit the power button, let's go. Like this is a reboot in a way where, again, new coaching staff, technically a new ownership to a degree, obviously not 100%, new quarterback, new identity, just a few years removed from them moving to Las Vegas. Like, this is a new era for the Raiders football, for the culture, for the team, for the franchise, for Las Vegas. So I got nothing but optimism for them right now, quite frankly. I'm excited to see what they do, and I think the deals that they've been making and how they've been going about it has been great. And I think it's so easy to look at certain teams, right? Like, how much are you going to pay Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady and Joe Burrow and Josh Allen? Like, that stuff's pretty like status. That stuff's pretty straightforward, quite frankly. You're gonna pay them lots of money, and if they're willing to take a pay cut, great. Then you're gonna do that, right? Like, it's pretty like, and sometimes you get a surprise of like, wow, they got the most guaranteed money, $210 million guaranteed, but it's just like, it's all nonsense, right? Like, you could give Josh Allen's contract 100% guaranteed. If he signs a 4-year contract, do you think he's not gonna play for all 4 years? Right? Like, they're gonna cut him in the final 2 years of his 4-year contract? Of course not. So, like, trying to figure out the guaranteed money and all that is like, who cares? Because it doesn't matter. But when it comes to someone like a Geno Smith and trying to figure out a deal, it's complicated. I mean, it is. It's so much more complicated and complex because it's like, how much do you actually pay a Geno Smith, and for how long? Considering his age, his style of play, like, it's fascinating because it's just not easy to figure out. I have no idea. Right? Is $66 million too much of a guarantee? Should it actually really be 55? Like, it's kind of fascinating stuff. And I just think they did an awesome job. I really, really do. And I think actually just observing how they did it, to me, is so interesting. because you can't just look at it through the lens of like, okay, get a top quarterback, pay him lots of money, try to get him to take a pay cut if you want to win, to build a better team around you, boom. Or get a quarterback on a rookie deal, or get a great quarterback on a rookie deal and try to milk that and maximize that window. It's a great, we know that. Those are very easy, straightforward things for everyone to understand. This type of stuff is a little bit more complicated. And I find it fascinating. I find it really, really fascinating. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Geno Smith? How far can Geno take the Raiders? Which I think is the wrong question, quite frankly. But let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.